When there are literally hundreds and thousands of side hustles out there, how do you know which is the best one? Today on the Wealth Nation podcast, we are talking about how to pick a great side hustle.
Welcome to the Wealth Nation podcast, a podcast for every mother, daughter, grandmother, sister, and wife, and the men who are smart enough to tune in. The Wealth Nation podcast brings you all you need to know about investments, business, property investments, personal finance, and all around financial wellness. Here is your host, Yolanda Rose.
It's another episode of the Wealth Nation podcast. Thanks for joining me today. I am Yolanda Rose Harry Prasad. I am a financial advisor. I'm a wealth coach. I am a serial entrepreneur. And it's my goal on the show to give you the best advice, the best strategies, the best tips, the best content that you can use to manage your money well and build generational wealth. And for the last couple of weeks, we've been talking about side hustles, especially since in South Africa, there's massive job losses happening. With or without COVID-19, South Africans needed multiple sources of income just to survive. So I've dedicated a good couple of shows to helping you guys find your side hustle. And today we're talking about how you can go about picking a side hustle. Also, just to let you know that the Side Hustle Sundays video show is going to be kicking off this week inside the Entrepreneur by Design Facebook group and on our YouTube channel, Financially Fabulous Females. So if you're not in that group yet, jump inside that group. You can go to our Facebook page. It's Financially Fabulous Females and look for groups and search Entrepreneur by Design. Now, guys, this is a female-only group. So if you do apply to get into the group, you're not going to get in. So it's for ladies only. But you are able to catch the show on our YouTube channel. It's Financially Fabulous Females. The show is going to be live on both those streams on Sunday at 4 p.m. The cool thing about digital media and social media is that you don't have to catch it live. You are able to view the content at a later date. But a lot of the content we do put out is time sensitive. So I hope you guys are watching out for that on Sunday at 4 p.m. It's not a long-term project of mine. It's just going to be a handful of episodes that we put together to try and give you all the information that you need to go about picking a side hustle and getting the baby steps done and eventually seeing some growth from there. The Wealth Nation podcast is sponsored by Audible. Audible is a seller and producer of spoken audio entertainment, information, and educational programming on the internet. Audible sells digital audiobooks, radio and TV programs, and audio versions of magazines and newspapers. For a 30-day free trial of Audible, go to www.financiallyfabulousfemales.com/audible. So how do you go about picking the perfect side hustle? I mean, we all have different skills. We all have different life experience, different abilities. So it's hard to say, right, this is the best side hustle. So I'm going to give you 4 things that you should be doing to identify what is the best side hustle based on your availability in time and your skill level and what you're basically into. So firstly, you got to find something that you enjoy. I mean, most people that are employed spend around 40 hours or more at their primary job, which means that at the end of the day, you're likely to be tired and you are mentally drained. So it's important for you to find a side hustle that you don't dread doing. Pushing yourself to work, say, 10 hours a week in addition to your main job, it won't be easy. So that side hustle that you choose should be something you actually look forward to. It's your escape and you thinking about it and dreaming about it and smelling it in your sleep. That's how excited you need to be about the side hustle that you're going to be doing. So you might consider turning a hobby into a source of income, whether it's caring for animals or writing or crafting. This way, a side hustle won't feel like work. It's a passion that you're blessed to be paid for. So ask yourself, is there something that you already love doing? What is it that you already love doing already? And try and brainstorm ways that you can monetize that. From cooking to crafts, to writing, caring for animals, anything can be monetized. I'm a big believer in that. Anything can be monetized. It is not difficult to find followers in your passion. Another thing you can do is to find out what what you enjoy spending hours and hours reading about, consuming content about. What is it? Identify the needs in the market as well that are currently not well being met, and how you can bridge that gap with something you love and the gap in the market. Raising financially savvy children involves teaching them a variety of aspects, from budgeting to planning to earning and saving. Besides giving them an understanding of the value of a rand, it prepares them for real world finances. Financial literacy is a vital skill, and it is never too early to teach your kids about money. Many parents wonder how they can teach their kids about money and where to find age appropriate resources. You can now download my Financial Literacy for Kids workbook, which is aimed at primary school kids. It's now available at www.financiallyfabulousfemales.com/shop. This workbook provides you with 12 lessons, activities, lesson plans, discussion points, and quizzes that you can use to test your kids' knowledge on the financial literacy lessons that I have put in place. I have taught my kids financial literacy with the very same content that I am providing you, and I hope that it provides you value.
Like what you hear so far? Make sure you never miss a show by subscribing on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or Tuned In. Now back to the show.
Secondly, when you do pick your side hustle, you need to choose something that is flexible. The last thing you want is for your side hustle to interfere with your main job. I mean, it could be your goal to eventually, for your side hustle to become your full-time thing, but in the meantime, you don't want to interfere with your main source of income. So you don't want to compromise that. That's why it pays to choose a second gig that really offers a lot of flexibility in terms of scheduling and deadlines. Imagine accepting a babysitting role that requires you to be at your client's home by 6 p.m. and you finish work at 5, twice a week. Well, it's gonna be tight for you. Maybe one of the days you have to work late at your main job. What are you going to do on those nights? You have a conflict on your hand, right? Unless your primary job is truly predictable, you may be better off finding a side hustle with flexible hours. And that's the joy about picking something. You can pick absolutely anything that works around your main thing. For example, doing web design from home. I mean, that kind of work is not a 9 to 5 thing. You can do that when it suits your schedule. I truly believe that us as South Africans, we need to stop trading time for rands. I mean, you start work at 9 and knock off at 5, or you start work at 8 and probably knock off at 4. Your salary during that time is fixed, and that is peak time. How many hours do you sit in traffic? So essentially, you're trading your time for dollars. Your peak performance time, you're trading it in for a salary, whereas we're living in such an exciting time. Your salary might pay you X amount, and your side hustle should be strategic enough to make that same amount of money or even more in minimal time. We're using minimal resources, and it can be done. I am doing it. So in this episode, the launch episode, I'm going to show you what I'm doing, side hustle wise, everything that I'm doing, leveraging technology to basically make more money than my day job does. The third thing is that you've got to have room for growth in whatever you choose. You got to be able to grow. You want your business, your side hustle, you want it to be scalable. Next week, actually, we're talking to somebody who's turned her side hustle into her full-time gig. And that is absolutely amazing. I'm so excited for next week's episode, actually, because you guys are going to love it. So pick something that there's room to grow. Because if you're stuck in a dead-end job and you're frustrated with your job, with your work environment, your side hustle can overtake your full-time thing. And if you start now, start building small and slowly building your momentum, at a later stage in a year or two, you can easily transition into your side hustle as being your full-time thing. So whatever it is you do select, make sure that you have room to grow. Maybe your side hustle is something that you can continue during retirement. That is the beauty of technology. If you master it now, it can take you well into retirement, where it can serve you as a source of income and give you something meaningful to do in your retirement years. A solid side hustle needs to be scalable. And if your side hustle requires manual effort, it's really hard to scale because you are only one person with one body and limited time. You only have 24 hours in a day, and you have to use it wisely. you also have your family, you have your job, you have your downtime, you have your sleep, you have your religious commitments. You've got all of that to do. You only have 24 hours a day. How are you going to cram it in? And that's one of the joys of technology. It allows you to make money while you sleep. And you need to learn how to leverage this technology. Email marketing, social media, digital ads, automation, it's all key to a phenomenal growth while it might not take much time or effort on your part. So you need to learn these skills that matter, or if it's not within your bounds to learn these skills, you can easily outsource it. But remember, as soon as you go outside, your operational costs do go up. And lastly, you got to find something that actually pays. I mean, you're doing this for the extra money, right? So although that you find a side hustle, you have a passion that you really, really enjoy, chances are the primary reason you want to monetize this is because you want to make money. So if you're going to put in a number of hours each week, you might as well get paid for them. And it isn't easy to say that you should do something you loathe just to earn money. But if you're selling home baked cupcakes, you will earn maybe what? Maybe 100 rand or 50 rand for a batch of 12 or something like that. And when your factor in your business is time plus the cost of ingredients, it might not be worth the effort. But if you really enjoy baking, you probably don't need to do that for 10 hours a week. Rather, aim to find a nice middle ground, something that will make a noticeable difference to your finances, but you'll always manage to learn from it and have fun with. When I worked in the Middle East, I worked under Americans a lot, and I had this one American director. And whenever we were plotting or planning some kind of strategy to get a project complete, he always used to say, the juice must be worth the squeeze. So if you put the same effort into squeezing a dry lemon and squeezing a fresh one, which one will give you the best result? It's the fresh lemon, right? So the juice must be worth the squeeze. Your side hustle needs to give you the biggest bang for your buck. So hopping aboard the side hustle bandwagon is a really good way to boost your earnings and to develop as a person. But picking the right gig is key, and hopefully you find a side hustle that's going to give you the biggest return with the least amount of effort and resources from your part. So to get cracking on that side hustle, don't forget to join us this Sunday, 9th of August at 4 p.m. inside the Entrepreneurs by Design Facebook group and our Financially Fabulous Females YouTube channel. We will be streaming live the first edition of the Side Hustle Sundays show. All right, so that's it for me on this episode of the Wealth Nation podcast. I'll chat to you next week.
Thanks for tuning in. Make sure to visit our website at www.financiallyfabulousfemales.com and sign up for our free investment masterclass.